This is a picture of me trying on a Rolex. And this is a recent photo of me and my family. If you ask me why I do what I do, two things come to mind, and that is family and freedom. This means more to me than anything else in the world. Hey guys, if you're new to this channel, I'm Hannah. I'm 25 years old and I've been learning to trade the markets for about 5 years. I was born in the Philippines and then moved to London when I was 3. This is probably the most realist and vulnerable video I've ever made to date. And this is why I trade. First, I want to take you back to the roots, to my beginnings, where it all kind of started. Because we're gonna have to take you down memory lane for you kind of to understand my journey, my life choices, and kind of my thinking before I became a trader. So long story short, grew up in the Philippines, moved to London when I was 3 years old. And as you would expect, the way of life, the way of living, and the way of thinking was completely different. You know, coming from the province area of the Philippines, then moving to the big city of London. I was raised by a single Filipino mother who had me, when she was really young. And yeah, I pretty much studied here, made friends here in London, and yeah, grew up here. Fast forward to about 2017. That's when I was interested in trading with the whole crypto hype came about. And at that time, I was a second-year university student studying aerospace engineering. And at the same time, I was also working part-time in TK Maxx. And at this point in my life, my why was to make money and make money fast. And so, yeah, at that time I was also in a pretty rocky, deep relationship, pretty long time as well. And something that I've never publicly shared is that I thought that maybe, if I make something of myself, I can prove that I'm worthy. At the time, I never felt good enough, and I always felt like kind of not secure. And so I thought, okay, if I can prove I'm worthy, I can prove that I'm good at something, that I can put something forward and bring something to the table, then maybe that'll clear up my insecurities. I was definitely desperate at that point in my life, but with desperation comes inspiration. And at that point in my life, my why for trading was just to be good enough. But yeah, so there I was, learning how to trade, kind of balancing uni, part-time job, living at my mum's house. I kept everything quiet. I remember when I said that I came from the Philippines and I had a single mother. Well, yeah, the beauty and the struggle in that is that she was stuck on survival mode, and I don't blame her. However, I absorbed all of that, and therefore that meant that I ended up working very hard in silence, but also struggling a lot in silence. And around that time, I was falling in love with self-growth and reading self-help books and self-development books and leadership and like everything to do with personal growth, and opening my mind to these things, and like listening to podcasts. Like, I never thought I would read a book because I had like people around me making fun of like those who read books, and that it was a waste of time and that it was so boring. And so I also adopted that kind of thinking. But from that journey, I learned empathy, I learned compassion, I learned to understand why people were the way they are. Why did they feel, think, and act the way they did? And yeah, that's pretty much where the self-development journey came from, because I realized that was so important if I had to succeed in trading. It was almost as if I had to break myself down completely just in order to rebuild. And at that point of my trading and life journey, my why for trading was just to be the best person that I can be for myself, for my family, for my partner. So it pretty much came to a point that I was obviously falling in love with this journey, this person that I was kind of becoming. And at this point, my knowledge about myself and life around me was growing. And with self-growth, I found the desire and that craving to help other people. Because I realized that whatever has happened to you, whatever trauma that you've gone through, that you can overcome it. You can break down old habits and old self-belief. I've truly learned that life is not against us. Life doesn't happen to us, it happens for us. And I remember making a vow, a promise to myself, that I am no longer doing this for myself, but for other people as well. And that's when one of the biggest and deepest reasons of my why for trading came about, was just to help other people. So we have just kind of been going around Antipolo side of Manila and seeing my family, and it's just like made me really sad about like all the news that kind of goes on here and kind of like the neglect. And yeah, it just makes me really sad because life here is obviously so different, and obviously it makes me feel like I wish I knew, I wish I could help, I wish I was there, I wish I could like look after them, I wish I could look after everyone. And yeah, it just makes me want to take action. And I realize like how lucky I am. Like I live on the other side of the world, I don't even know what's going on here. And like the more I think about it, the more I'm processing the news and just the reality. Like it just breaks my heart. And I don't know, that's just the one thing that gets me, you know, like whether that be vulnerable people or children, like just not having an opportunity to like see a better way of life, or even just like elderly people not being looked after. I feel like I don't know, just that's just something that I want to always be involved in and help out with. I thought I'd just pick up the camera and like document some like raw feelingy stuff. A big part, like a big reason why I'm here in Philippines was to oversee a project that I've kind of been like working on in the background, in terms of just like looking after some children and like sponsoring a child. I always feel like I'm not strong enough to keep serving and giving back, but that's just like the biggest prayer that I've been praying over these past few months going into like Philippines, was just guidance and strength to know exactly like how I can help people, and like to just be able to withstand the emotions that come with it, just because I feel their pain so much, especially the children that are neglected, or just anyone neglected really. You've all been a part of this. Like if you look on every single video description on my YouTube, I always say that clicking a link supports a brighter future for those in need. And then I have the little Philippines flag, and for the longest time you've all been like playing a massive role changing people's lives. And obviously I don't really like talking about it too much, but it's happening it's happening now. We are now in Philippines, we are now all making a difference like together. And obviously I'm just getting so emotional because I don't know, I'm scared, because me emotional is not pretty. But I don't even know if I'm going to put this up on like whatever video this goes on to, but I know that this could be a start of like how I basically wanted to live my life, which is just continuously serving. And look at the view, it's so pretty after all these trees. So we got 3 bikes for the kids. There's 10 of them in the orphanage, and one thing that they really wanted was bikes. They're aged between 5 to 16, so hopefully the size of bikes we've got is gonna be okay. Right, we've got all the stuff. Now we're heading to Tagaytay. Why do I look like a peanut? We're gonna get some cakes and ice cream and order pizza. Hello! 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 So right now we've just got this, we're waiting on pizza, and this is our cake. Gusto mo? Sarap daw. Thank you, thank you. 3, 2, 1. So, you know, there were plenty of whys to my trading journey, especially at different stages of my life. You know, having things like a Rolex, nice car, whatever it may be, is great. But nothing beats, you know, closeness, connection, freedom, time freedom, location freedom, being there for your family. You know, if it wasn't for trading, and you know, another reason why I trade is just I can be there for my family. And you know, those are the true reasons why I do what I do, why I trade. And like, I just wanted to touch on things like emotion. You can see that a lot of my whys were fueled by emotion. And I think emotion can be one of the best strengths, the best advantages you can have to sort of fuel whatever it is, business, entrepreneurship, even if you're working any job. But again, emotion was one of the biggest drivers for me to do trading and why I trade. There was always an emotion attached to it. What I'm trying to say is use relationships and emotion to rocket fuel you towards your success. I have seen so many people spiral out of control. I have spiraled out of control, and sometimes the enemy will plant seeds of destruction in your mind. But that's why you've got to have your purpose and your why set so clear. So ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty much, you know, why I trade. And I just wanted to thank you guys for always tuning in and for the support. Like I said, I think in this segment that you guys help out, and you guys are a big purpose and a driver behind this YouTube channel and kind of what I do behind the scenes in terms of sharing the blessings out to those who don't always get a seat at the table. And I always feel like everyone gets a seat at the table. Just know that you're always doing more than just watching, liking, commenting, subscribing. You are part of the family, and through this channel, you guys are making a difference to other people. And it's something that, you know, I don't talk about often, I don't publicly share too much info on, but just know that you are making a massive difference. So guys, if you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, God bless.